YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician's channel. And today we're going to be moving into my Malibu. As you guys may have noticed in one of my previous videos, I mentioned that the headlight went out. So I'm going to be showing you how to replace a headlight on a 2008 to 2012 Chevy Malibu, whether it's LS, LT, or LTZ. They're all the same. Just make sure you get the right headlight. This is a low beam. It's going to be the H11 bulb. You can select whether you want the original or upgrade from there. Obviously they are going to range. For one single bulb, it's going to range from $18 to $30, and for two bulbs it's going to range from $30 to like $80. So it is going to get a little bit expensive. I was going to switch out both, but I really didn't want to spend $40 on both headlights, so I'm just going to replace the one that's out and hope the other one lasts a long time. There is a way to do this without removing the front bumper. If it's your driver's side headlight that's out, you can remove your battery, the computer in front of your battery, and the windshield wiper reservoir tank. You can move those things out of the way and access the back of the headlight from there. It is a tight squeeze, but it is possible. But with the passenger side, you have to remove the front bumper. I've looked for a way to do it without removing the front bumper. It's all metal enclosing behind the headlight, so there's no way to do it. Chevy did this, and a lot of other manufacturers do the exact same thing. They make it harder to get to these, so more people will take their cars back to the dealer or wherever you got your car in order to get this bulb switched out. But I'm going to show you how to do this. It's not that difficult. It's just a lot of bolts and fasteners. It is kind of a pain. A headlight job that should take 2 minutes can take, an hour or more. But I'm going to show you how to do this, and I really hope this helps some of you guys. But before we get into that, I'm going to show you what tools you're going to need to accomplish this job. It's not much, and they're your normal household tools. So let's get into this, and I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and as always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Thank you guys. Okay guys, so what you're going to need is, if you're of age, go ahead and grab yourself a beer and enjoy it while you're doing this process. First thing you're going to need is a 10mm socket, whether you have a impact driver like this, or if you just use a ratchet, it doesn't matter as long as it's a 10mm. A 7mm. These 10mm are going to be for the bolts up top inside the engine bay. The 7mm is going to be for the plastic shrouding underneath the vehicle that attaches to the bottom of the bumper. Then a flathead screwdriver for some of those push pins. And then if you have a set of these, you can use these as well for inside the fender well, because you have to remove the fender well plastic off of the front bumper. So you can either use this or a screwdriver. Either one works just fine. Obviously, you're also going to need your headlight. But that's it. You shouldn't need anything else. And going over that now, we can get into actually disassembling this car and getting the front bumper off. Okay guys, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pop your hood, and you need access to this panel right here. This needs to be removed. It is also holding the front bumper onto the car. So you will have some of these push pins. It is, hold on 1 second. It is the style where the top comes out. It might be different on your vehicle. They've been replaced if they've ever been worked on and stuff like that. It's not the side with the double slit in it. There's just a single one, so you can just get a flat head under here and pop it open real easy, and then just get underneath the actual bottom part and pop it up as well. You're going to have 4 of those across the front, and then the rest are going to be 10mm bolts. So all you got to do after you get those push pins popped up, just go around and get all these 10mm out. And I would suggest keeping these separate. These are all 10mm. They're going to go back in the top. I believe everything on the bottom is 7mm. So just keep those separated so you know what all goes up top and what will go on the bottom of the bumper. So you got quite a few bolts here holding in this plastic piece. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the rest of these push pins real quick, and we'll get that off. Alrighty guys, we got all the push pins removed from this top panel, and now you're just gonna simply remove it from the car, lay it somewhere you won't take the chance of stepping on it and breaking it. Alright, it's a little dirty under there, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up real quick, and then we will start removing the bottom bolts on the bumper. Now we're gonna go ahead and you will need to turn your tires, whichever side you're going to be working on first. Go ahead and turn the wheel in on that side, and then you're going to have some push pins here. You got one right here, 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 and then you might have a bolt right up here, which, oh, sorry about that guys, which is a 10 millimeter as well. Go ahead and remove that. You can either use a screwdriver on these or the push pin pliers that I have. I will use those. Just be careful on this not to mess up your paint, and we'll get to that now. I'm using these to remove the clips. You can simply just get pushed behind there, make sure you got it kind of even, and there you go. It removes the little push pin pretty easy. So if you have these, I would definitely use them. Just be careful if you are using a screwdriver, don't pry up against your bumper and end up scratching it or anything. And then up in here, like I stated, there is the 10 millimeter. Looks like I might have to use an extension on this. And it's out. Just kind of hung up in there. There it is. So just one 10 millimeter bolt right up in this little hole, and then the 3 push pins right here, and it will be separated from the front bumper. So go ahead and do that on both sides. I gotta turn these wheels and get access to the other side. So once you get all the 3 push pins and the fastener removed from each side, go ahead and place those somewhere you won't lose them, but keep them close so you know where each thing goes. The only thing we have left is to remove the fasteners underneath of the car, which you can see there's one there, and they run all along here, and they're all 7 millimeter, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those now. There's not a lot of room here, so I'm not going to record it. Just look for the ones attached to the bumper. And you can even do this job sometimes without removing these 7 millimeter bolts. You could just pop the bumper off over here and on the other side and pull the top here and almost have enough access to access them. So you can do it that way, but I'm going to take this off just because I want a lot of room for you guys to see what I'm doing. You can kind of see all the fasteners laying on the ground. There are going to be 9 7 millimeter bolts holding the plastic on underneath the car to the bumper, and 2 push pins. So you can either use a flathead screwdriver and pliers or the push pin popper pliers. So that is it. Now we are actually going to start to remove the front bumper. Okay guys, so I've already went ahead and removed the passenger side. All you're going to do is get your hand in between this plastic fender well piece and the bumper. Carefully pull out. Do not allow it to come back and hit your fender. Just simply removes from there. If you do have the LTZ or you have the fog lights, be careful when removing this. Once you get the bumper off, you will have to disconnect the fog lights. In order to remove it from up here, you're just kind of going to wiggle the bumper. Grab it. And there you go. Pop right off, and you can go ahead and grab both sides. Stuck over here. Carefully set it down, go ahead and remove your fog lights. Careful not to let them hit the ground. There you go. So, it's a little dirty under here, but one thing to remember when doing anything with bulbs, do not touch the bulbs themselves. Grab it by the connector end and try and keep your fingers off of the glass itself. It will shorten the life of the bulb. And now that we got it off, we're gonna go ahead and move into removing the passenger side headlight. Alright guys, so to remove the headlight, it's the same on both sides. There's a 10mm bolt on the side. Go ahead and remove that. There's gonna be one on the front as well. Remove that, and then that's the only thing holding the light on. Now there's a couple clips in here. You kind of got to press down on the headlight and pull forward, and there you go. The headlight is removed. Now we're going to go ahead and swap out the bulb. Okay guys, so keep in mind whenever you're replacing the bulb, figure out which one is actually bad. This inside one is the bright headlight, and the outside one is the dim. That's the one that's out on mine, so that's the one we're going to be replacing. Just keep in mind which one you need to replace. So it's pretty simple. Just go ahead and take your headlight and find the one that you need to remove. Remove the connector first, it makes it a little bit easier. Then go ahead, pull the bulb out, and get ready to replace it. So, got the new bulb here, and like I stated earlier, grab it by the connector part. Do not grab the bulb. Take your headlight assembly, take your bulb, and carefully insert it. It just twists in, set it in place, turn it clockwise, and then plug in your connector. So before we reassemble anything, we're going to go ahead and check to make sure that the bulb actually comes on. So there we go, got the new headlight in and it is working, so now we can go ahead and reassemble in the exact opposite order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it as close to the body as possible and hook the blinkers back up. Now I got it over here, go ahead and grab your blinkers, carefully insert them back into the fog light housing. Sides in. That side's in. I'm just going to kind of take the bumper and set it up on here as best as I possibly can. Now you have to kind of lift the bumper on each side. Get it pushed back into place right here, and then you can work it in over here on the side. There we go. That's that side. Now I'm going to do the other side. Same thing, push it back into place. Get it lined back up. Just simply push it back in. And now, all we have to do is reinstall the bolts. Once again, I'm going to start with the bottom. Get all the plastic shrouding on the bottom of the car bolted back on. Okay guys, so we got the bottom bolts reinstalled. Now we're doing the fender well. Once again, already done the other side. Got the 10mm bolts started up in here. And there's that 10mm bolt. Now you're just going to take your push pins, line the fender well plastic pieces back up, and just simply push these into place. And that's it for the fender wells. We've got the bottom and the sides all done, so now it's time for the top piece. The easiest way to go about it is just lay it in place, figure out where all the push pins go, and install those first. There are only 4 of them, so there are 2 on each side. Simply push those back into place. push the center down to lock it in. And now that you've got those installed, now you know exactly where all the fasteners need to go. So I'm going to grab all my fasteners, and you have two fasteners that are a little bit larger than the others. They have these bigger base on them. Those are going to go right here, closest to the hood latch. So I'm just going to go ahead and start those so I know those go right there. And then I'm just going to get all of these started by, a couple threads, and then I'll go through with my impact driver and install all of these. So really, it's not a hard process at all. And this took me a little bit longer just because I was making a video, painting some of my pulley system for my 85 Camaro, and repainting my grills as well. But really, this job doesn't take long. It's longer than it should take because it's ridiculous that you had to do this for a headlight. But overall, it's an easy job. Set that on the lowest setting. These definitely don't need to be in there super tight. Alright guys, and that is a headlight change on a 2008 to 2012 Chevy Malibu. That is a headlight swap on a 2008 to 2012 Chevy Malibu, any model, or LTLS or LTZ. Be aware, if you have the fog lights, you need to disconnect those before trying to pull your bumper away from the vehicle. Also, don't touch the bolts of any of the lights. Grab it by the connector and just be very careful. It's really not that bad of a job, pretty simple, just a lot of fasteners and push pins, but overall pretty simple. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please let me know and I'd be glad to help you. Make sure to check out my Facebook page of a sneak peek of tomorrow's episode, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys so much, and if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and as always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Thank you.